All right. Welcome everyone to the live stream Wednesday, September the 26th, 2018. Joe will be in shortly. He had to go do something real quick. Um, yeah. Today we're going to talk about a few things. Should be interesting. Um,
Talking at Miss. I
I,
heard you
I,
talking about me.
I'm intro. Yeah. I did the intro just now. So we're going to be talking about a few things. We got a little thing we're going to be doing coming up pretty soon, and we're going to try to make it a thing that we do all the time. Um, and we're going to talk about the matches that have gone on so far. They've been this tournament's been really competitive so far, and I've really liked it. Really liked watching and playing in it. So, without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about the tournament so far.
What are we, Phil DeFranco right now?
I guess I don't know, man. Uh, I get that reference. I get that reference.
Good. I thought I was the only one for a second.
No, I watch that daily. So I played like a jackass in the tournament so far. So that's kind of why I'm dressed up like a jackass. So, uh,
Oh, it's funny because it's true.
oh, uh, at least I know I've made a few misplays, but I'm still 2-2, and I'm pretty happy about that. So can't complain.
Yeah, I mean it's a good record to have in this very competitive tournament, like you said. A lot of just solid standout games, a lot of close games,
Yeah, absolutely.
and a lot of late nights with the kiddos.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing how the late night games have really. I don't know. It's a whole lot more late night games than I thought it would be.
Well,
Or
surprisingly, so remember how I said before, 3 streams ago, I said that there was only two players from the UK. In reality, there's three players from the UK, and there's people who are like Matt Doe, who's out in Korea right now.
yeah,
Um, so there are, I think we wound up with a total of five international players, which has been really kind of stretching our scheduling. Not in a bad way, though.
yeah, we love having international people bring some flavor, and I mean it makes the meta interesting because people bring their own flavor from their own regions, and that's always welcome. So, um,
It's been real great, too.
so what stood out to you so far in the tournament that has got you interested in it?
Um,
Sorry
you
to put you
know,
on the spot, but
no, it's fine. I've actually been thinking about this since last week. Um, so I want to say uh, the standout so far, and I'll have to go back to the standings on this one because I know a few of them. So let's start with Allen.
oh, yeah, I just played him a little bit ago.
He has just with these teams, and I took a look at these teams, and I've been over these teams time and time again, and I'm just like, how do these things win?
Yeah,
Because it doesn't fit. They don't fit the traditional bill of you have your bag management globals like Resurrection and Villainous Pact. He only has that on one team, right? And then you have PXG. Well, he only has that on one team. The other teams, or I mean, on either of the teams, what he lacks in those areas, he strengthens his own combo. For example, his Guy Rush team, which is really should be called Serena Rush because that's all you need.
yeah,
You just need four Serenas and just kick it into gear.
yeah,
Um,
and it's awkward to
and
play
so
against it too, a little bit.
yeah, because he's so like he maximizes the amount of threats. The threat density is just real on that, and
Yeah,
he only has like one or two control cards between each team, and so that he can increase density on his threats and make it harder for teams like you had not your KBB team, but your other team had two blankers on it,
well,
and a Green Devil mask, and it was kind of like, well, you had Scarlet Witch, Green Devil mask, and you had D-Wiz,
yeah,
and he just got through it like it was nothing.
yeah. I mean, the first game was really. I mean, I did everything I could to keep him from doing what he was needed to do, but it was really rough. His Serenas just took me down to 12 before I could do anything in response, and it was. I mean, he played it perfectly. It was it was really fun because I think I played it a little bit different than what he thought it I was going to play it, and it made it last like 6 more turns than it probably should have the way I played. But I thought it was going to be an uphill climb against that team.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the way that you just took a different angle, different approach, because it definitely wasn't going to be anything that I was going to play, and that's a good thing. So, yeah, you definitely you would have you outlasted me in those terms because had I been in that same situation, I probably would have made the wrong calls, like unlike you did.
Yeah. Well, I took the I played the mimic on his Serena just because I knew he bought all four, so I played mimic on his Serena, and his Serena was the biggest side, and it didn't matter whether it went down or not. He was going to be a big body to block, and I needed to keep his D-Wiz in the needed to keep one of his Serenas in the field to blanket, so I just kept using that to spin down and then blank. So that it was just really rough, but I don't think a lot of people would think to mimic the Serena. It's kind of a
Oh
weird
yeah.
play.
No. It was perfect because you kind of gave him that choice. Like if you field it, you give me advantage. So if you can't guarantee that win, it makes you really question things. Other standouts, of course, are well, let's go with so let's get the obvious out of the way, right? We've got Ben, who's a seasoned. He's our what's the word?
He's our
He's our
boy.
yeah, he's our neighborhood. He's our neighborhood pro.
Yeah. Uh,
He's the guy that we go to for stuff like really highly competitive things. We go, hey Ben, help us out with this or give us some insight on that. So we expect him to do good. Now, whenever he doesn't do good, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It could be that there are better players or good players that are good enough to win in those situations. But right now, as it stands, he's 3-0, and he's going up against the other 3-0 in this tournament, Patrick Shadow Meld. When Shadow Meld again, he's our resident lab maniac, or they call him the nefarious geneticist.
yeah.
And so again, every time I have advice on teams, yeah, every time I have advice on teams, I always go to him, and I expect him to do well in a tournament like this, and he has with his Manticore team, and his B team because I consider his Manticore team his A team.
Yeah. That Manticore team is pretty brutal, and it's just really rough. And I got the short end of the stick of playing Alan, who was there's three undefeated teams so far: Alan, Ben, and Shadow. I mean, you just got to play who you have in front of you. I kind of got screwed on that a little bit, but then again, you play who you play. So
Yeah, and so I played Lottie on Saturday last week, and she managed to record the match. It was 3 o'clock over here, so I played her from 3 o'clock till I think like 4:10, 4:20, and
yeah, I
those
fell
were some
asleep.
hard. That's all right. I didn't expect anybody to over here to be awake, not even you, because it was like, man, that's asking a lot. But those are some hard fought matches, and she pilots her teams very well. Um, and she was able to get a win. And I think that she has the potential to be locked into top four easy because that Lantern Ring team, because of the presence of Green Devil Mask and Rare Raven, you just can't get around it. Even my Beholder team couldn't
Yeah,
get around it.
yeah. The things that I found out in this tournament so far is, yeah, Green Devil Mask is legit, and I've actually been playing it pretty well, and I wouldn't say pretty well. I've been playing it, buying it, and making sure I use it because it's come in handy. And I just hated that card because every time I play Robert with any team, he always has Green Devil Mask, and I want to just throw that dice away. But playing with it, I'm like, oh, it's really good. And if you have backup control with it, it just winds up being so good. And I feel embarrassed about something. Joe and me had probably the tightest commentary that we had, and it was on Robert's game. And my computer had an issue, and the cord messed up, so I had to replace the cord, and it didn't set up right. And I think me and Joe had our tightest commentary together, and it missed it, and I was so upset about that because I thought we did really good.
I mean, it's just if anything, it's practice for the next time. So I'm not too hurt about it. People don't tune in for me. They tune in for the game, man.
Yeah, that's just I felt it was really tight and really good. So
We'll get it next time.
yeah,
So for sure, those are the standouts for me. And then some of the sort of bottom people. Hang on just one second. I'm trying to pull up that information.
that's all right, man.
Just one second.
So I just for reference, our channel, Ben's 2-0, or Ben's 3-0. He's got to play another undefeated. Me and Robert are 2-2, and Joe is 1-2 right now with the match to be played
On Friday.
Yeah, this is the best our channel has done in a tournament ever.
Well, I'm on par for my usual performance. I'm always X2 drop. I've been that way for the last 3 tournaments. But I've done that because not because I got frustrated, but because I wanted to contribute more to the, back end stuff.
I mean, you set up the whole entire Golden Age 2 team takedown with a little bit of help from everyone else and all that, but you're the driving force behind setting that up, and so you use your time wisely for that. So,
Well, I mean, it really is a team effort, and I want to thank everybody for being there for that. So, let's see. The other standouts are, of course, Ryan. He did a really good job. We actually had the privilege of seeing him play. Who was it
Robert.
that he played? He played Robert.
yeah.
So, I like to think that I'd like to think that Robert he's a really capable guy, but he also is very carefree on his stuff. Where are you at, Robert? Please tell me you're coming on pretty soon, because I'm talking the wildest crap about you. So I'd like to think
you've said it to his face, so it doesn't really matter.
he's got the carefree attitude. He does the all-in plays, and again, there's nothing wrong with that.
He also misses lethals sometimes. So, and that comes from him not he does practice. He doesn't practice as much as like Joe or Michael Ingledew or Shadow and all them. So Robert does miss things time to time, and Robert has some interesting teams, but he does miss stuff here and there.
So when you have that live by the sword, die by the sword kind of play, if rolls go wrong for you the first or second time, it just makes it that much worse. I know this because I was playing that way a year ago.
Yeah, man, playing like when I went over to your house and we practiced, and you played that, you were practicing your Beholder team for when we were gonna do the talk for all of our Beholders. Man, you annihilated with my Beholder team, and it was just so ridiculous. But I think me and you learned a few things from playing a little bit different against each other. That's why I think it's like when you play against someone and you're practicing, it's better to try to like think outside yourself and not try to play how you'd play in a tournament. Just try some weird stuff every once in a while. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, always have a backup plan for your backup plan, and it can't be truer of Dice Masters. So that's why a lot of times you'll see like Alan. He's got threat density because he has backup plans for his backup plans. So if Guy Gardner, which is premier play, doesn't work, then he falls back on Serena. And if that doesn't work, he falls back on the Lily Fairies. Or the Fairy Injection Ladies. They're the two fist, really efficient cost attackers, and it's good. I mean, so like you try to do stuff like that, and just like you said, in practice, that's the time to figure those things out. In playtesting, you always want to say, well, what if I roll this, or what if I do this, what if I buy this, but then the opponent does his thing, and it's always good to go over that stuff, and we may here in a little bit we may. Hey, there he is. We got tired of talking about you. So we may, here in a little while, we may come up with a video series that helps with practicing, and the reason why I say this may is because there's already resources out there like this. you know, our DM Armada, who is a much larger channel than us, he's been around for a little bit longer than we have.
And
He
killing
did
it.
he, yeah, and he's very good at what he does, and so there he is. Oh, that's a handsome face. Only a mother would love. So he would a video about preparation and how to build teams and stuff like that. So you could go to his stuff and he has resources there. And then don't forget there's the TDC guys. And I believe there's a few other of our friends in the community that have done mock-ups and write-ups and articles on how to
DM,
best prepare.
DM North.
Yeah, and
Great
so
dudes. Sorry, didn't mean to kill your train of thought, but yeah.
no. I'm laughing because Shadow killed my train of thought.
Oh.
He's got a comment. Chris is a furry, so
Yeah. Sorry.
Hi guys, by the way, I'm here.
welcome.
I am here.
So, Robert, how come you didn't do the thing that I sent you pictures of?
I did not make it out to buy it.
Oh.
That's my only excuse.
And the fact that you probably didn't want to wear it.
I didn't want to spend the money.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Sorry.
Robert, your entrance was a meme within a meme, bro.
Thanks.
Oh,
How I do?
Good. Good. We were just talking about how you got smashed by
There. Now
By
I look
Ryan.
ridiculous like Chris.
Oh my god. It's a full body thing, bro. I'm sweating my balls off right now, but it's happening.
Put this
The
plastic
things-
bag over my face then.
The things Chris
Don't,
does
don't
for-
do that at home, kids. Don't do
for the
that.
fans.
Oh man.
So, Robert, we were talking about how the tournament's going so far. What are the standouts? And so, from your view, from your perspective, what you've seen, what are some of the things that have stood out to you?
People he's played.
Well,
I mean, he's had the chance to hop in on a couple of games as well
Yeah.
that he didn't play.
Yeah.
I'm definitely happy about the creativity.
Yeah.
For sure. For me, that was the biggest part. The most important thing for these tournaments is to be creative and take advantage of all the cards that are out there. And I think everyone's doing a really good job of that. You're not seeing a lot of repeat teams for the most part, I don't think. Or at least I haven't seen them. Wait, am I skipping around? Sorry.
Probably. I don't know.
Uh,
No,
'cause
I
it froze
can-
on here.
No,
Alright,
you're not
cool.
skipping around for us, dude. You're good.
No,
Okay,
you're
it's
good.
just on my side. All right. Yeah, the creativity level is just awesome. I'm really enjoying that part. Seeing the different types of teams, seeing the different win conditions, seeing how some of the older teams have adapted to the newer cards and stuff like that. Like the villain control team that annihilated me yesterday. That was awesome. Even though there wasn't a lot of old stuff on there.
Yeah.
I don't think we saw any older cards on there.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
think it's been people strictly going with just old cards and not doing any of the news cards. I see a lot of people just doing like 80-20 new cards to old cards.
Yeah,
There are some
and
teams that
that's-
are different than that.
yeah. I mean, there's not a lot. A lot of key cards that were. No, I don't want to say that either because there is a lot of good cards in Golden Age. There's a lot of good win conditions, but there's a lot of better versions of that in Modern.
Yeah.
So if you already have it, you probably don't want to recycle it by using an older version that's not as good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I mean, from the team that, like I said, from the games that I've seen, I've enjoyed it.
That's actually something that I wanted to hit on is that we originally set out for the Golden Age 2 team tournament, not only to have fun, but also to see how viable certain older cards were, and cards like Bard, cards like Lantern Ring that just had the hands down win previously they've gotten overshadowed by some of the newer cards. But that all being said, we're 4 rounds in now. We haven't seen anything just straight dominate and warp the meta. And so because of that, our results after this Golden Age tournament will be inconclusive. And the reason why, and this is what I think, this is my opinion. The reason why is because people aren't playing to be competitive, they're playing to have fun. You have a mix, right? You have
Yes.
like 30% competitive, 70% fun. And that's what we want. We want people to have fun. The goal is for people to have fun. If we really wanted to, we could go, all right, let's kick it into overdrive. The next tournament, we're going to have a $100 gift card to Best Buy, right? Or whatever, with just $100 in it, right? Imagine then what the teams would look like. Then you'd start seeing your Wonder Rings and your just all out, people going all out with their, Yantis and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, we already see the Wonder Ring in it now, but yeah.
And that's something I wanted to touch on, and kind of transition, Chris. I don't know if this is a good time for it, but
Transition.
we've been looking into global escalation for a future tournament. And I can't say when because I really don't know. We're not that far in planning yet. But the thing that interests me about global escalation is that when teams win, the character cards or the actions get banned without globals, and so it kind of has this pyramid effect where eventually people are just going to be playing that one thing at the top. You know what I mean? That one team at the top. What I'm seeing is that there's an overall dominance of cards like Wonder Ring, Wonder Girl plus Ring of Magnetism, or there's or even effects like that, like Raven, Rare Raven, right?
Yeah, I think that Ring of Magnetism is going to be gone pretty quick with the global
Nats
skill.
Yeah. So the CE Nats has been in the books, so that might change the ban list.
Yeah.
And we're hoping so because then that means that global escalation is back up to regular speed. So one thing that we saw was people were really talking in the lead up to the CE Nats was Ultraman, that it was going to be oppressive, that it was the quickest team, and I even thought King Black Bolt was going to be, super oppressive because of how quick it was. But it turns out those teams were not showing up. They were showing up. So the best Ultraman team was in third place.
Oh, wow. That's surprising.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's really saying something about global escalation, that it's still a very wide open format. It hasn't been solved. Nobody's stepped up there and just won it with one team and made everybody else go, okay, well, I guess we're playing either against that team or we're playing that team.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised that Super Yanti, she's probably going to be banned pretty quickly here. It's kind of a little bit harder for people because they can't have the rare Cosmic Cube, but I mean, the US Nat showed that you don't need rare Cosmic Cube to really be really good with that team.
Yeah, people were using the uncommon 3-cost cube, I think it was. Or no, they were using the 2-cost that made everything one cheaper.
Yeah, the uncommon. Uncommon's super good.
Yeah, and so there was still, I think, just Attune in general, right? Attune in general is just really good.
And Attune's here to stay, too, so that's the other thing.
I mean, I don't mind.
So you better attune in.
As a player...
I'm dressed like this, and I'm embarrassed for you.
Good.
So as a player, I don't mind it. As a designer, I don't mind it either because it's a nice, well-rounded mechanic. And it plays well with others. And that's kind of the goal that you want when you're designing sets or you're designing cards. Does it play well with others? If it plays well with others, then it's a good mechanic. It's balanced. It's all around. Especially if it's symmetrical effect, like it works for both players in that sense. And the other thing is it'll... Oh, sorry about that. Something happened to my wife's product there. It broke. Anyway, distracted. Getting back to, I know my daughter's got a little farm read-along book.
It's all good, man.
So getting back to the main point is that when you look at Attune as a mechanic, it's good. When you look at stuff like Yanti, super rare Yanti, that breaks that mechanic, that's whenever it starts getting to where, okay, well, maybe we shouldn't have designed a card that goes like that, that extra.
Yeah, that basically you can't counter that except for bringing a blanker and using it just on that one card. Granted, you do that with blankers anyways, but I think it's kind of stupid just having one card where you can purchase stuff and affect so much.
I don't mean to beat a dead donkey over there, but would an errata or a ban actually make that better? You errata it to be once per turn.
No, they won't.
It's only other attunes or anything like that, or do you think you just ban it straight out?
I think you just ban it straight out. It needs to be banned. Period.
So in WizKid's case, it's always better to ban than errata because they've already had to errata so much. And new players coming into the
Why change?
Yeah, so a new player coming into it they would see Warhammer 40K, and then they would try to buy whatever's left off the shelf, maybe some like some TOA draft pack is left on the shelf by some miracle, and they go, oh hey, there's this card, can I play with it? And then your guy that's been playing for like the last 2 years goes, oh no, they eroded that.
Yeah.
Well, is the new player going to know that? No. Are they going to need to know that? Yes. And so it creates this kind of barrier to entry.
Yeah. I always just say it's better to just ban, because if you try to errata it, you're trying to piece together or fix a broken thing. And it's just, you got to start fresh. And just getting that card out of there is a way to start back over fresh with Attune. And I think Attune is going to be in a good place without Super Yanti.
Yeah, so moving on, I think we had like 7 viewers at once, and then we lost them.
It doesn't matter. We're here just talking.
So moving on to what's going to happen with Global Escalation, it's an interesting format. At first, I was a little hesitant about it. I was like, yeah, well, you can't really do much with that, especially after seeing the ban list. I was like, well, you're taking away a lot of the control cards, but there's still some options that we have as far as control cards go.
Yeah.
We're just waiting on them to, win a Nats or, some other regional type or even Worlds.
Yeah, I think a little bit more after Worlds is going to be a little bit more defined of how broken Global Escalation is going to be and how hard it's going to be to make a team. But it's with the format that it is, it's going to eventually get to a spot where it's like, wow, that's like so many things banned. I don't know what to put together. I guess I'll just put together a team of just globals. That's it.
Well,
good luck with that.
I mean, my Beholder team, and I've talked with you guys about this before, and it's pretty much 99% globals. The only cards on there that aren't global or that don't have global is MetaMask and Momentum, and Momentum's already been banned. And so thankfully MetaMask hasn't. So all I need to do is just replace Momentum. I'm still good to go with that Beholder team, and it holds up very well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just when that MetaMask goes, that team kind of
then you have to go back to like True Believer, Odin's Fury, Global with Collector. Then you have to go the slow route.
You have to think is what you're saying, and I like that. I like that. I'm just saying, be creative. There's a lot of cards out there, guys. Like, if people are getting discouraged because these big cards are banned, there's like 10,000 cards left.
Yeah, looking at that ban
10,000 cards.
Might as well be.
Yeah.
So I consider the ban list to be like a speed limit, right? It means that you have to operate under a different speed, and so you're still getting the same place. You're just having to operate at a different speed.
Yeah.
So for Global Escalation, the more restrictions they put on you, I think the better it is, because then you'll know what to build around. You'll know what to bring to build against it.
Yeah.
And also that opens up competitive for people that might not have been as competitive before because of these big cards that they didn't have or just didn't want to play against.
Yeah. I think
we did something like that locally with our legacy tournament where there was 5 or 6 stores in the area, or in Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma.
Yeah, people came from all over.
That was a huge success, and we went 6 weeks, I think, and the winning team from each store got banned. So all of those cards got banned every week. You know what I mean? Or towards the end, you couldn't use any of those cards that were on that one giant list, and it was awesome. I mean, I put together a pretty decent villain team with that, and I did fairly well in that tournament. I didn't win it, but I did pretty well, and it was super creative. It was awesome. It was a really great tournament just because I liked how everyone had to use the cards that they weren't going to use before.
The really terrible thing about that one was how the championship for that was going on during a WKO, and me and you chose to go to the WKO.
This was the first one.
Oh, the first one.
We did it twice. Yeah, the first one actually went to the championship. Yeah. I actually made it to the top 16. I think I might have made it to the top 8 and got cut. I don't remember.
You got cut.
I just know that it was fun. Yeah, it was fun. It was really cool. But yeah, I had a good time playing that format, and I think it's great.
Wow. It's going to lead into me wanting to brew more and play more, which kind of has a thing of what we're going to be talking about here in about 10 minutes. So, but yeah, I think Global Escalation, At first, when I heard about it, I was like, "That's gonna be a garbage thing. That's gonna go not gonna be around after a year." But it has staying
Garbo
power.
format.
Yeah.
Garbo, yo.
But I think it has staying power.
It does, and especially if they commit to printing again, like I said, balance mechanics, and those balance mechanics would be with printed on cards with globals that you can use, either efficient or not efficient, but you can still use those cards. So one thing I'm going to be looking forward to is the addition of Warhammer as soon as they release it, or even the new Justice set.
I don't want them to make really powerful cards and have a global on it because that's missing the mark also, honestly.
Well, I mean, you have Blue Eyes White Dragon. What does that do for you?
True.
It can turn the game, but more often than not, it's a symmetrical effect.
Well, I'm saying like there's a few cards that DM Armadas talk about how it has a global on it, and it pretty much it's makes something range 1, and then when attacks, all range does its thing. That's a broken card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a
from the
broken card.
Team pack, and it's great. But like you said, it's broken, but not in the way that I guess in a tournament I don't see that it would be broken.
Yeah, but that card's never going to get banned in that format.
Oh yeah, it's just you have stuff like the Blackbird Global, and you have stuff like Tomb Guardian, and even Enchantress. Now that you can't use it, Oracle, the rare Enchantress that makes you pay 1 for globals and actions, and then you have Tomb Guardian, which makes you pay 1. The rare Tomb Guardian, which it can fabricate, and he's a shield character. So there's options that let you tax globals, and then you have blanking, which can blank the global as well, in the form of like maybe in the not Shriek, but in the form of Kryptonite, or in
Yeah.
the form of
True
there's
believer.
just something, because they have to pass priority before that range building global can be effective. So
Yeah.
when they pass priority, you go, okay, Captain Cold's Cold Gun. If they decide to ban it, then that's unfortunate. But if not, then you can just go, okay, Cold Gun.
That's already banned though. Captain Cold Gun is banned already.
Well, it was in the winning team of this last nationals, so I'm hoping, because I don't know what the exact rules are. If they ban everything that doesn't have a global on that winning team, or they ban a card from that team.
My understanding is it's everything that didn't have a global on it.
Okay, that's unfortunate, because Cold Gun is one of my favorite control pieces, because you could use it when they pass priority, so you could do stuff to them before they swing in for lethal. With like Bard, you just okay, well I'm gonna Cold Gun your Bard, and then you don't have to worry about it that turn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cold Gun just sits out there like a boss.
So there's very limited, but there are ways to work against that range stuff. Right, as of right now, you can capture, or no, there's that Wonder Woman that forces you to have the character out before you can use the global. There's a rare Wrecker.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's ways around it. I mean, rare Wrecker, come on, like that doesn't scream ban me for that format.
I think Bishop's gonna start getting some play. I mean, it seems like such a powerful card, but it's a 5 cost that in a quick format that Dice Masters, or a quick meta that Dice Masters is right now. It's kind of hard to just justify putting that on the team, and I think it's gonna get more play pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Bishop perform pretty well in the Golden Age tournament with, I think it was Reggie that was using it, or somebody was using it to a really good effect.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anyway, but yeah, so Bishops, I mean, there's still options out there because they haven't won, a Nationals that you can still play for Global.
Yeah. All right, I need to play. I need to look at the global escalation a whole lot more. I didn't pay much mind to it at first, but now, man, I think it's awesome.
So I'm thinking, because Brewers Corner is going to be on a little temporary hiatus for right now because we've just got so much going on.
Yeah, it's hard to do it when we have tournaments going on or planning tournaments, and we did not expect it to take off as much as it has, and it has. So
it's, there's been weeks, or like last week, there was a match to 2 matches every day of the week.
Yeah.
And so that can get a little hectic when we're trying to either play the match or we're trying to commentate on the match. Because that's our minimum qualification, or that's our minimum requirements, that we either witness the match or we commentated it. If we can't do both, then we have nothing to talk to you guys about.
Yeah.
And I for one strive to be there regardless.
Yeah. There's been lots of
I
nights where I fell
don't.
asleep. Oh man, Joe's been the one that's been totally just going into and making sure he sees as many matches as he can. It's
Yeah.
because it's his baby this time, so.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Yeah,
I
we'll be
mean,
there.
it's the thing. Like, to me, watching people have fun in a golden format, by the way, and just being a part of something that's like this with 24 players, it just means a whole lot more.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, so we're going into the final
What's this
matches
new
that are being
topic that we have?
finished up. This what's up?
I said, "What's this new topic?" It's been 10 minutes. You gave us a little teaser, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh man, I gotta wait 10 minutes for this."
Let's see.
Mhm. Yeah, I want to know because I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, you do.
Oh,
All right. So here's something I've been wanting to play a whole lot more, and I've been talking to the guys about it. And Ben's been on vacation, so we haven't really had a response from him. But Ben's always down to play. I want to start playing on Saturdays as much as I can. If it's not Dice Masters, it's something. I want to just start playing, and so Saturday's my free time. Robert a lot of times has free time on Saturdays. Half the time he doesn't, and I think Joe has free time on Saturday.
I do.
And so we may not necessarily be streaming it. We may also be streaming it, but it's just going to be us hanging out, playing games, having fun, doing that kind of stuff. And this Saturday is going to be our first week of doing it, and it's just going to be Modern Dice Masters. And that includes every set that's modern. So
yes,
come join us.
that is released.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that
these
is
guys-
released.
Yeah, so these guys have already had everything up till Warhammer because Warhammer hasn't been released yet, and they've got the team packs and all that stuff too. So
Yeah.
I unfortunately only have the Avengers Infinity because of financial reasons, but I'm looking forward to add on to more because the new stuff that's come out. That's the one thing we haven't gone over a whole lot. DM Armada has, and so has many of the other.
That's not out yet,
podcasters.
though.
Not Warhammer, but the other stuff, the
Oh,
team
the
packs and
Yeah.
yeah. So if you guys want to see more about that, you can hop on over to their channels. We'll have something relatively soon after the Golden Age tournament. I want us to take some time to kind of put together videos on that.
Or just have a live stream and talk about it, kind of like how we did with Michael Ingledew. That was fun. So
Oh yeah.
That was-
How you doing, Ryan?
Hey Ryan.
Good to see you. Thanks for hopping in. So one thing that is going to be interesting is whenever we do these Saturday night specials, is the modern format and where we're at right now. Because I'm interested in seeing what you guys are brewing.
mine's kind of already been seen before because I played it against Steven on his channel, and I think it's a really powerful team. It's a really crazy team. I think it could be modified to be more competitive than what it is, but yeah. I want to see what Robert's going to brew with the newer stuff because I have not seen him brew anything with it.
I literally put it in the binder and the box and haven't touched it.
Yeah.
Just sitting there collecting dust.
I mean, you don't even have to play it though, really. It's just I would be
Yeah.
interested to see you play something of that.
So
Maybe
one
do
thing I
Batman team.
you can do Batman.
Yeah, I can do a Batman team.
Oh, I mean, there's plenty of groundwork for it.
Yup.
Did you
So-
want it like all from the new stuff?
No.
No, I'm just
Okay.
I'm interested to see what you play with the newer stuff because you've been locked into the Golden Age stuff for so long with what we've been brewing and all that. I genuinely am excited to see what you can do with some of the newer stuff because me and you've talked a lot about brewing and what we've done, and you're like, I put it on the shelf. That's the extent of it.
And this is what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan's got a point though. It is important to try some of the, more of the new stuff than we normally would. But what I want to do is, ever since Ben kind of talked about it and DM Armada talked about it as well, what I'm interested in is, what is it? Heist with the Harley's Hyenas.
With with your one of your favorite cards.
Yeah, with Tabashi Rogue. And I think I'm really interested in brewing that. And I want to try, I need to get a hold of the Hyenas for that. So I'm going to be looking for...
Be careful, they bite.
Yeah, dude. They're hard to train.
Yeah, so does Harley. I mean...
Yeah, but that's not that bad, though. She's not a hyena. Oh.
I don't know.
So I want to try that. That's going to be one of the teams that I want to get. And, that's... Okay, so you did try it. The other thing I wanted to include were actually attunes like Wasp. I wanted to see how effective that was going to be with something as effective as Wasp with her attune that powers up your other Wasp dice.
Oh, you're gonna see that this Saturday. I have that team built and ready to go.
Oh, nice.
It's my favorite team. That's like Wasp. Legit is my favorite card from the new sets.
Like the Attune Wasp?
Interesting.
Yes, the Attune Wasp, that she gets bigger with each Attune played. And there's a basic action that makes it ridiculous. Oh, so good.
Yeah,
Spec Ops.
Rare Suitor Dragon. Yep. Or Throne Brick, even. You just stick that on there.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, you'll see it Saturday. You'll see it Saturday.
I can't make it.
Shut up, Robert. You're making
Okay,
it.
I'll be there.
Shut up, Meg.
And then
Shut up, Meg.
we've also Ryan, is it okay if I say you're not in here, but is it okay if I say something about what we're talking about possibly doing also on CR Game Room night? I'm assuming yes, because it's going to be like a 2 or 3 minute delay. But we're gonna be playing anything and everything that we feel like playing that night or that week, and we're gonna get together and talk about what we want to do.
Mostly Monopoly.
No. Ryan's gonna be GMing a D&D night once a month, and we're gonna try to put together a campaign and show Robert how to play. And I played a little bit. I played GURPS, but not D&D so much. I'm really looking forward to that.
And I've actually played quite a bit of 5th edition as well, which is what we're hoping to port into. Is 5th
I've actually listened to a lot of new edition, so I think I'm ready. Yeah.
And
Or
Robert,
Bobby Brown.
I don't think you want to play me in Monopoly. I'm just saying that right now.
I'm just saying I'm really good.
Well, Ryan's not for Monopoly, so I think we lost that on that.
Nobody likes Monopoly, apparently. I love Monopoly. It's one of my favorite games.
Ryan has confirmed that it's going to be a 5th edition, and we were kind of talking about
I made an OC character. I'm going to be this elf chick.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm
OC
gonna be.
character?
The drum.
Oak Cliff?
OC, yeah, just original character, my bad. That's like saying ATM machine.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue, sorry.
Way to crater the conversation.
I know, right?
I thought you meant like the OC, like that old drama from the
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I
never
thought. I was
seen
like, I didn't know OC had fairies in it.
that. Original character, man. Come on.
So yeah, it's gonna be a 5th edition, and it's gonna be something that Ryan's been cooking up. We're looking forward to it, and we're trying to schedule out a day that we could do it. So it'd be like once a month on
a Saturday. Yeah.
And it would be, I really think Saturday Night Special would be a good term for the segment, but we might come up with something else.
I think
like
CR
that.
Game Room night, personally,
I don't like that either.
Okay.
or the call out.
I don't like that either.
You don't like anything unless you come up with a name for it, Robert.
No, it's not true.
So something we do want to push, just like Chris said, was that it's going to be an open invitation, except for RP nights. RP nights, you guys can feel free to add in color commentary or kind of help us out, because I don't know if you, Chris and Robert specifically, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it on Twitch, but there are these role-playing channels where people will give bits and cheers to sort of give their characters that they want to support power-ups. It was really big with the Hyper RPG system, where they would put in bits for their characters, and like one, because I'm a huge nerd, so I've been following Hyperforce, which is a Power Rangers role play that Saban has specifically trademarked and licensed. They even have
Interesting.
they have some YouTube celebrities and also returning Power Rangers from the Saban series, including some of the originals like Tommy, Jason David Frank.
Nice.
He's popped up in a couple of sessions.
That's
So
pretty
anyway-
cool.
I believe they call it sesh, though.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I wrote that down today in my
So
notebook. I was
we're still in the
having a meeting.
brainstorming stages of it. We haven't done character creation for Ryan's for, for Ryan's campaign. By the way, Chris is in a donkey suit because he was playing like a jackass earlier today, so he thought he would fit the description, fit the playstyle.
Mhm.
It's really the whole entire week, though.
He's been
Yeah.
feeling like a jackass the entire week.
Well, playing like a jackass. So.
Oh, okay.
It's true.
I was kind of thinking about not even covering it, just like wearing the donkey suit and just have people question it the whole entire time. But I think adding in the thing would be better than just like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. This is my Wednesday suit.
Then you.
That
Well,
cold
you-
front came through. That's why.
You
Yeah.
might be a furry.
I ain't no furry. I might be wearing
No.
this at Origins when we go.
Oh
So
my
there was
god.
oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm not down for that.
Oh, you don't have to wear it. I don't give a fuck. I'll wear it.
I might have to come like every time you come in the room, I might have to be like, "Oh, bother."
Well, get prepared to say that a bunch because Robert knows I don't care.
Chris
I will-
does not care.
But yeah.
So Ryan's gonna be coming up with that, and again, yeah, against Alan, yeah. So one thing I wanted to cover was during Chris's last match with, or during Chris's first match with Alan, there was an instance where something was skipped, something messed up. Alan, I apologize. I wasn't trying to call you out. I wasn't trying to say that you were a cheater or accuse you of it. It's just somebody in the chat pointed out, hey, you got to follow the function and everything. So I didn't want to just step in there and, be a jerk about it. I wanted to let y'all know that that's how the game goes. And I want to make sure that people know that we're not saying that because we think they're cheating or we don't think that they're a better player. It's just sometimes when we're that close to the win or when we're playing that heavily into the game, we get a little caught up in that kind of stuff and that can be missed.
Yeah. I mean, I still think he would have had me either way because I didn't roll anything. But yeah.
So the ruling was, or the issue was, is that Alan, he had purchased the storm that when she attacks, your opponent rerolls each character die, and each character die that comes up as an energy is then put into the prep. He also had 3 Serenas and I believe 2 sidekicks
And a Constantine and
and a Constantine and a Dwarf Wizard.
No,
Was
I had the Dwarf Wizard because I Dwarf Wizard
Okay.
his Serena. And
Well,
he
you had. Okay, yeah.
he had a
You
Guy
two-
Gardner.
Yeah, he had a Guy Gardner. That's the important part, right? So he had all those characters, and you had 2. You only had
I had
2 at the
4.
time. Oh, you had 4.
Yeah.
You had
I had Jubilee, I had Mimic, I had I didn't have Scarlet Witch. I know I had 4. I think it might have been 2. It might have been 2 sidekicks, but I had 4 things in there. And if
4 total.
if I had 3 of the things come up, I could have won. I could have lasted. I shouldn't say. I
Well,
should
yeah.
say.
So
Hmm.
my point is that whenever he went in, and I apologize, the details are important in this case. So Chris had 4 characters. Alan was able to attack with 7. And if Chris had been able to block 3 to 4 of them, he would have survived. So getting back down to the game, the instance is that Alan attacked with the storm first. He resolved the win attacks ability, and then he declared the rest of his attackers. And what we need to make sure that we clarify is even in the cases whenever there's win attacks abilities, what you have to do is you have to declare all of your attackers from the first to the last first, and then any win attacks abilities like Lantern Ring will go in the queue, and you determine in what order they will resolve. So that's important because in this case, Alan could have said, and I'm not saying that he was thinking this, Alan could have said, well, I'll just attack first with the Storm, see if any of them reroll, and then I will just attack with only Storm and Guy Gardner just to make sure that I'm not going all in. Now, he was intending to attack with the rest of them. He just wanted to resolve that win attacks ability first to see what the damage was going to be whenever he attacked with everybody. But we still want to make sure that everybody knows that when you're going to your attack step, you have to declare all your attackers first, then resolve all the win attack abilities.
Yeah, and I think Alan was just trying to make it easier for order of operations for going through. I don't.
Yeah,
He was not trying to do anything untoward or cheat or anything like that. We don't think that. I didn't even think that when that happened. And he also let me know all the globals on his team in the second game because I told him that I hadn't been playing for a year and a half to 2 years. And he explained to me, well, I have PXG, and I explained to him I can't use it until the third or fourth turn with my King Black Bolt team. So
yeah, and Alan's a great player, and so I don't doubt that he was doing it for convenience sake. Like, okay, well, let's just get this out of the way so I can win.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of cases, that's what we do. We forego the formalities of it just to get to the point. Like, hey, we're wasting enough time. I'm just gonna do the thing and I win. A lot of times people are like, all right, well, don't you want to follow through with that? Don't you want to say why you're going to win or say how you're going to win?
Yeah, I do that a lot. Where I'll just like with my Daisy, I attack first and it does her damage and then everything else.
yeah,
Because
But
the
you have
way
to-
I was thinking of, yeah, you have to declare them all at the same time. But the way I was thinking is like, I'm going to attack with everything already. I'm just going to do it in the order
yeah.
that things are going to
Yeah.
go off.
That's kind of what when he did that, it made me think of me playing you because I've played
Yeah.
you numerous times with that Daisy team, and that's how you do it. And you're like, first of all, I'm attacking with this Daisy, and then after that resolves, you put everything else back up, and it's yeah. Granted, maybe from now on, people should say I'm attacking with X things, and if they don't announce it before the first resolve, you can't follow through with it if the
That's
person
the
doesn't
way
allow.
it should be played, right?
Yeah.
Well, so basically, it's all about communication between the two players.
Mhm.
And this is where having a TO around or a judge around at all matches, and this is kind of what I try to do, is you get mixed up in these little things, right? And I call them little things because that's what they are. It's communication is key on this part because things will get missed, and they will. I guarantee you, I've missed some things, I've screwed up on some things, but they were almost always because I didn't communicate with my opponent, or my opponent didn't say, "Hey, what are you doing there?"
Yeah.
And so, it's important that we at least try to, keep to the rules as far as like follow up and follow through. So if we're gonna do something, we need to say it like, "Hey, I'm doing this thing because this global does this, and then I'm drawing this die because of this."
Oh, show.
So I just wanted to get it off of my chest because I felt like, at the end of that, I felt like I was imposing, because you guys were just like, "Yeah, Journey, okay, that's cool."
I was thinking Joe, but yeah, you're right. I wasn't thinking that at all.
And I didn't see it, so I wasn't thinking about it at all.
Hey, you were thinking about that workout.
What was that, Monday?
No, that was today, bro. You were thinking about
Oh.
I'm hanging out
I
with
was
my
at
folks.
my mama's house.
Yeah.
I was at my mama's house eating tostadas, and they were awesome.
Oh, man, so jelly.
So good.
All right.
So, what were you gonna say, Chris?
I do you have any more on that subject? Because
No.
all right. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to take up too much time with that.
Oh, it's all good. So getting to something next week, just to hit on a little bit different. Next week we're gonna have Shadow Meld on here, and he's gonna talk about his new format that he's putting together, and that
Ooh,
Joe's been
I know
helping
that.
him do stuff with. And
Awesome.
Ben will be able to talk with us. Talk on it with Ben. Should be back next week. So and we're gonna talk about the top 8 cut, and we're gonna talk about just all the things going on and how the Saturday night game room play went. And yeah, you guys want to talk about anything else next week before we go, or you just want to let it head
To
organically?
give a little teaser for the speaking of the top 8, to give a little teaser, right now we have 12 people that are in contention for the top 8.
Any names you can drop?
Well, I mean, I can already give you the top 4 right now. As the current standings are.
Spoiler alert.
Give the top 8 right now, as it stands.
You want to do the top 8?
As of right now.
Okay, as
Yeah.
it stands right now, it's Alan, Ben, Ryan, Keith, Shadow Meld, Michaela, Chris, and Charlotte. Now we have that's because half of our matches are in, so some of those win-loss records are updated to 4 rounds. The other ones are updated to 3 rounds.
Ah.
So right now, Ben and Shadow still have to play, and then Charlotte and her opponent still have to play, and it also depends on how well I do on top of that. So like I said, there's people on the outskirts, like there's the tutus are going to be on the outskirts. And we
Aren't
have
tutus
quite a
skirts
bit.
already?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like we have quite a bit that are tutus, and if for whatever reason we don't have anybody that's undefeated outside of Allen, that means that the 3-2s are going to be in contention for top 8.
Nice.
So there's still hope, even in the last round, by the way. It's going to be real tight, and it's going to be real fun to watch.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Because there's a few 2-1s that are yet to play, like Matt Doe, Dustin, Phillip, and Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Once they're done, that's gonna, like, I'm in the top 8 right now, but if I think a lot of them are playing each other, so I'm probably, my strength of schedule is super good, but because I've only lost to the undefeated people, but it should shake out a little bit more, and we'll be able to see how things go after that. Robert is in the running also.
Wow.
We're actually
That's
doing things in our own tournament,
surprising.
guys.
Wow.
Yeah, so like I said,
If only I would have tried harder. If I would have tried harder.
Oh, shut up.
Let's not put my team together the night before.
But that's your style. That's how you play.
that Wonder Woman, man, that's gonna haunt you for the rest of your career.
Yeah, that was bad. Yeah. that
Why
was
did
the
you
wrong
put
one.
that on your team?
I don't know. I don't remember why I did it, for being honest.
Never ask Robert those kinds of questions.
I'll just say I don't know. I don't remember.
Because you had that one for your Mr. Fix-It teams.
That whole team was just all full of garbo. There was so many different iterations I couldn't keep up with it, I guess, and I just forgot.
Yeah.
So to give everybody a little preview of next week, our X and 2s still have a chance, even in the 5th round, by the way. Once Ben and Shadow get their match locked in, that's going to determine how viable the X and 2s are going to be. It depends on strength of schedule after that point.
Yeah.
Mm.
If Shadow wins, it's going to be looking really good for me.
Yeah.
That's
And if
really...
Ben wins, it's going to be looking really good for me.
Yeah, still.
So we will see.
All right. So you want to do the thing with the thing, Robert?
Yes, I do. All right. So that is. Oh wait, that's not it. Hold on. Oh, here we go. All right, that's gonna do it for us here at CR Game Room. Thanks to Donkey Chris for showing up today. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter and join our conversations on Discord. The links to each are in the descriptions below. Also, last but not least, be sure to like and subscribe. And thanks for hanging out, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.